Good morning. Welcome to ATI ProMedia. We're powered by advanced trading. Show's starting to build itself. Looking over to the left at my quote board, a lot of red on the screen. We're going to get that in just a minute. But we have continued news of flooding in Brazil. We have a USDA report Friday. Weather maps and drought maps are going to come out tomorrow. It's Wednesday, hump day. A lot of red on the screen. We're going to talk about that. Let's talk about the markets real quick. Mr. Rick, let's take it to LaSalle Street, sir. Looking at July corn down 3 3/4. Looking at July soybeans down 7. No soybeans down 6. They were down a little bit more. Board of Trade wheat down 7.5. KC wheat down 8. Hard red spring. Our boys up in Minneapolis in North Dakota down 9. Cattle lower. Feeders lower. Hogs lower. Gold lower. Interest rates going up. Stock market was a lot lower and bounced back. All right. From Main Street to Wall Street, we're here, Advanced Trading ATI Pro Media. I don't know who's my co-host today. We'll see if either of those guys have internet. I know Brady's probably hanging out the window or something, trying to get 4 bars, 5 bars. Connor B. We'll bring in our backup guy. Connor B. What's going on?
Bringing in the backup. Thank you for that, Tommy.
Yeah.
I'm always on the bench. You call I'm ready to go.
It's like when the team's ahead by 30 points and they put in the guys who never get to play. They're like, let Connor go on the show today.
Why are you reminding me of high school baseball, Tommy? Come on.
My God. At least you were on the team. I was in the doggone band, so I was the one playing the music for you guys when you lost, doggone it.
Hey, I was the only right fielder that they designated hit for. So that tells you how good I was.
Let's get in the show. What do you got for headlines, my friend?
Yes, sir. So the first one, Brazil, that southern, Cesar talked about it Friday. We've been looking at it, the flooding in southern Brazil, and it is not going away, Tommy. Death toll rises to 90, and there's dozens still stranded. I saw something like 130 people are still unaccounted for. So, Rick, pull up that picture of just from how much it's progressed and how much that flooding has taken over. So if you look, top picture is normal before the rains came, and look how flooded it is. There's a whole part of the city that is missing just based on those floods. So we continue to see delays. We continue to see, in our world, grains exports are being limited, but also, just in terms of crisis, people without homes, people homeless, and death toll continues to climb. So terrible situation we're seeing in southern Brazil.
And I believe that is horrible, but we're going to talk about facts, not feelings. There was a lot of, they were like 70-80% done with harvest. So it's not like all the crops were out there, correct?
Correct. And other color to that is 70-80% of the southern Brazil, that state too. And so we still got a lot of soybeans harvested. We're really debating what's that last 15-20%, right? How big of a hit are we taking there?
Sure. And USDA Friday. Rick, let's talk about, we're going to take it from the top. What we did on premium content yesterday, we'll start with that. Tommy, Connor, Brady, we talked about the next 100 days. We gave a very, very, keep that up there for a little bit, Mr. Rick. We gave a very specific scenario on how to use a June option to get you through. It was 17, 16 days, moving on 15 days. Do we have a weather problem, or did we just have a weather rally opportunity? Does South America have a problem? Yes. Does Russia have a problem? Yes. Do we have a problem? I'm not so sure yet. Looking at the weather models that we'll get into in a little bit, there looks like a window for the people with the earliest plant days to get after it. So we gave a very specific scenario of how to use puts, calls, cash sales right into this Friday USDA report. Speaking of Friday, you know who's going to be on streaming live. It says 10:55. I'm kind of thinking we go early, guys.
Yeah, a little bit earlier.
I want to go at 10, talk to people, give away a few flags, get the questions and comments going. It's kind of rushed. We'll have the numbers as they break. We'll break them down. But the real breaking down will come after that. Friday, 1:30. Oh, wow. Handsome alert. Look at that. Brian Basting, Michael Reginelli, by far the best looking broker we have down in Bloomington, although Drew gets a close second. So that's a nice looking crew. Brian, Michael, Drew. Let's see if they're watching. They'll shoot me a text. All right. Those guys will really break down the numbers deep dive. That is the A team right there, my friend.
Absolutely. Can't wait. And
what part are you laughing at? How handsome
I'm laughing. Yeah. How many you call people handsome all the time, Tommy? It always
you get in trouble for insulting people. I don't want to seem like our former president. I don't want to Rosie O'Donnell anyone. Everybody's handsome. Everyone's good looking.
Other thing we have, we'll talk a lot about this. Friday USDA, Tuesday is CONAB, right? The past couple we've seen them released at the same time, right? We're gonna have to wait a few days to see, is CONAB gonna drop their numbers again, right? So we'll be paying attention to that. And so, other thing, before we jump on something else, we're talking about the flooding in southern Brazil. I saw something like 85% of the safrinha corn crop, right? So let's move a little bit north into Brazil. Like 85% is not expected to get any rain in the next 10 to 12 days. As Dr. Cruz highlighted, that's not uncommon. We hit into a dry period. It's just a little bit earlier. So I'd expect to see some headlines talking about the dryness in Brazil, but make sure we're looking at that accordingly, right? We know it's going to get dry. They had good rains earlier. It's all debating is how is that corn crop going to finish?
Little bit of color about corn and being bullish. When markets start to go up, it feels like you should be bullish, but these are the very markets that you were saying 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago, if I ever get a chance to sell a rally, I'm going to do it with both hands. Now you're saying I can't sell this because this. That's what makes the market rally, folks. So if a client or a friend or someone calls and says, I don't want to sell because Russia, South America, and America have a problem, that very problem was opportunity. And I think your perception will change, and I'm not sure which way. In the next 15 days, dramatic shift. You will know in the next 15 days if you have a major problem or just you went in a week late into perfectly groomed fields that had fertilizer on from the fall and the 80-degree temperatures we had 6 weeks ago in the spring. And then we're on our way to a record crop. We only have 100 days left till your old crop grain has a birthday. And you don't want to be at that birthday party, folks. So, time to move some old crop, take some profits here.
Yeah.
Maybe they're not profits. That's not for me to determine. Kind of arrogant to say take profits, right? These folks listening, they're not traders necessarily. These are farmers. Take some cash to the bank, quit paying interest, and start making interest. Back to you, sir.
Yeah. Flipping it over, you brought this to my attention, Tommy. Purdue Ag Barometer, right? Lowest we've seen since what in the past since COVID, since April of 2020, down to that 99. It looks like it broke 100 for whatever that means, but yeah, ag economy, right? This would be for the month of April. A little bit pessimistic, financially we're not as sound as we've seen the past couple years, so we're seeing that reflected in this barometer.
Yeah, seeing some weird, not weird, that's not the right word. We're seeing some stocks that are major big companies really starting to have trouble. Tesla down 27% the year. Starbucks, the price of coffee, go ahead, pop that Starbucks up, sir. The price of coffee went up, and I don't know if maybe if Brady Huck is super sharp, he can go to barchart.com and get a price of coffee futures and slap that on there. But coffee futures have absolutely exploded. And what's the main ingredient in Starbucks? Well, a little attitude and a lot of coffee beans when you go to a Starbucks there, folks. And
Man,
Starbucks at 4-year lows. That's a sign that people can't afford the $6 coffee anymore. Let me ask you a question. Do you have a Starbucks close to you when your wife's buying flowers when she makes that little trip to Lowe's? Is she going through the drive-through and spending $22 on 2 coffee drinks? What's the
she,
situation in your house?
she never tells me what she spent, but I was gonna say is that my household is doing their part, and we're not the reason that Starbucks has fallen off. But also, when you talk Central Illinois, when we say close, it's probably 25 minutes away, but there is one within driving distance.
I do enjoy Starbucks. I enjoy a good cup of coffee.
And look at
All right.
that. I'm popping this up again, and just the sell off. Is this what is this, Tommy? A monthly? Just
No,
look
no,
at
no.
the
Multiple years. So we're taking out I think when I noticed that, that was 4-year lows. That is
wow.
see, the little blue up there, it said 3-year. That's a 3-year chart. Yeah, we're taking out some lows. Same thing, Walgreens stock, folks, if you live anywhere, you need a CVS or Walgreens stock, multi-year lows. Your Spotify came out with earnings this morning. Why are we talking about this? I think it's starting to show cracks and vulnerability in the American consumer. And everyone's going to pay their cell phone bill because you don't want that shut off. But do you need a Starbucks every single day? There was a fund once that was started, and it was called. Well, let me think of it. It was all the bad stuff. It was. I think it was called a Sin Fund, a Sin ETF, and it was alcohol stocks, gambling stocks, and there was one other thing I can't remember, but it was a sin.
Tobacco.
Yeah, yeah, alcohol, tobacco, and gambling. Thank you very much. And if you are naughty and you like all those companies, you can just go buy an ETF and enjoy the sin stocks. And we'll have to look at that up one day. I haven't looked that one up in a while. What else do we have? Let's talk weather, my friend.
Yeah, let's talk weather. And then also, not to beat a dead horse, but I'm going to do it anyway, is let's look at corn planting progress. I saw this from Reuters. It just really, to me, it really highlighted where we're at right now. So, black line, as you can see, we're below the 5-year average pace, but we're very much, like you said, we're very much on the precipice of we're not really in the delayed planting. As you can see,
Precipice.
22,
Very good word. Very good word. Pulling out the
20,
big ones to make Brady look bad.
looking at 20,
Precipice.
22, I wrote it down before I said it. 22, 2019, as you can see, right? We can very much still make good progress if the weather cooperates in the next couple weeks. And so that's the next thing I had, is that I don't want to jinx it, Tommy. And I'm not a big proponent of looking at the 14-day GFS. We know how reliable they are when we go that far out. But I want to be hopeful that maybe looking at this, maybe we get our window of opportunity where we can make that big jump in planning progress. As you can see, some of these lines, it's unbelievable how much progress we make when we're ready to roll and we're getting late, right? 2013 jumps out, and that was probably a little bit before we really saw high-speed planners. And look at that progress we made after the 14th of May. And so looking at that, what are your thoughts? Give me some weather updates.
We're going to be a little warmer here next few days here, and then we could use some more heat. Where my weather bug might have went to like Canada or something because it's got some cold temps. Is that me? I have to check my local temps, but I'm thinking we start to warm up, average to above average temps for a lot of the U.S. coming up next 10 to 15. And it's fun to watch the weather. It's a lot of pressure for the weather people. It's an incredible amount of pressure for the American farmer because they are so dependent on Mother Nature. I'm just looking at the weather map. That Mid Valley, Tennessee, Kentucky area getting absolutely pounded with rains right now. Missouri, Jefferson City getting a big rain down there by Bev. Iowa have some spotty ones, but I'll give a North Dakota clients a call. Or folks, if you're out there and you think you'll be planting the next few days, text or drop a comment here on this stream if you're out there on X or if you're out there on YouTube. All right, what do we have here?
This is our coffee.
Oh, Brady Hawk he got enough internet to get coffee. Well, coffee was doing well till it wasn't, folks. And that is going to definitely hurt Starbucks. I am super interested in learning how these people who make chocolate are going to deal with what happened in cocoa. When you have a commodity that quadrupled and now it's a third off sale, we could pull that coffee off. Thank you. That makes me want a cup of coffee. And now I'll be able to afford it a little bit better. Uh-oh, we lost everybody. Who is clicking someone's
Someone's going rogue.
it's
Brady's got his hands up. Well,
great.
Tommy, premium today, right? We talked
Mhm.
old crop yesterday, right? Having some specific recommendations, things you should be looking at. Today, what do you think? Should we talk a little new crop and get some marketing plans in place, looking for the next 100 days of new crop marketing?
Absolutely. We have I'm going to say it, and a friend, Dwayne Bussey from Bolt Marketing, just texted me a little commentary. I love it when other brokers are watching the show. Thank you, Dwayne. We'll gladly have you as a guest. Uh, we have a fiduciary duty to cover the gap, especially in the beans. Those beans are like 75 cents a dollar. They are way above crop insurance levels. And so if we round trip, if we trade up in the spring, get it planted, and go back and make new lows, you're going to go to the banker, you can go to the friend, you can go to your wife and say, I don't know what I was thinking. I know what you're thinking. You're too scared to sell it because you didn't plan it, but never ever be too scared to protect it. If you buy insurance, whether it be for 15 days, 45 days, 95 days, buy that insurance because you now have a fiduciary duty to cover the gap between February crop insurance prices and where we are now. Not to mention, you're only protecting 75, 80, 85% of that price. We can get you over 100% protected with no obligation to actually bring that grain to an elevator. Is that correct, or am I making stuff up? It is Wednesday.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. And then the other piece is, should we go ahead and lock in some of that obligate, right? Are we ready to make some sales too, right? That's the other part of the piece. Sure, we can we can put floors in place, remain bullish all the time. But a big part of the market is we got to know when to sell, right? And so I'd like to talk about that too.
Yeah,
When we're
I got a
talking
little
about crop
update
marketing.
here from northern South Dakota, North Dakota. Dwayne Bussey works with a lot of farmers, both crop insurance, futures, and options. Big shout out to him. ND will get planning in a day or so. Forecast looks good. Should make huge progress this weekend. So Friday, big risk day. Risk from the USDA and risk of
Right.
over the weekend weather. Um, I know what I'd be doing if I was a farmer, but I'm not a farmer, as they say. Scott the cow guy says you're just a guy in your mom's basement yelling, "Mom, the meatloaf." So grab a comment, or you guys can drop a comment here on the YouTube channel in the X. No comments. Our friend Luke has been working. He's not far from me. He's in an undisclosed location in Michigan. I think Luke might stop by the house as he drives back down south, so
Very
he can
cool.
pick up his cup and his sweatshirt. Ask us a question, post a comment with that. Should we dare to bring in Brady Huck in the wild internet?
Yeah.
How we doing? Yeah, he's clearing up.
I'm here.
Complexion looks good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I love tell the story about what your wife said. Is that wire going to be running across the
Oh
floor
gosh,
forever?
yeah. Had the internet guy come over yesterday and help me out, and that ran an Ethernet cord from one side of my basement to the other. Luckily, I'm in my own basement. Although mom's basement's pretty comfortable too, some days. Uh, but we ran that Ethernet cord from one end to the other, and Kara, my wife, says, "Brady, is that cord a permanent thing, or how long is that going to be there?" And I
Kind of
hope it's
like
not a
when your
permanent thing,
Christmas
but
lights are still up
I'm
east or
hardwired in, guys.
yeah, you're
And
hardwired
we're
in
still
already.
glitching a little bit.
That's right. Right. It's that's because it's
It's
just
it's
technology. I love it. All right. Wrapping
yeah.
it up, boys. Anything, Brady? Talk cattle. You're sounding good, looking good.
Yeah.
We opened higher, we're lower. What do you got for cattle? Seems like
Box Yeah,
go ahead.
box beef is a little higher. It's good to see, but it's prime time beef demand season. We've got to, this is a time for beef to shine. And the pack there's a big base positive basis on the cash versus the futures. We'll see that converge together here between June and the cash price. But it's a time of year where we need to see box beef run. It's demand season. Let's get it going. But it's been a while since the bird flu headline. Hopefully, we keep those away from us, and we have some headline risk out there. Funds are long, great prices out there for the cow calf guy. Look into LRP. If you are unhappy with where you're doing LRP, now is the time you can switch from one agent to another agent. If you want to learn about LRP as a cattleman and how you can use options with it. We would love to teach you and show you all the cool things you can do with LRP and an options account to manage volatility and not be a victim of this market.
Congratulations to you for taking the test and passing it. A lot of people go to school for 6 years. They call them doctors, but that's fine. And Tony Dunker has that license too. I believe those are the only two brokers at Advanced Trading who are registered to do LRP. So a lot of things you can get done when you don't go to the lake for the weekend. Congratulations to you, Brady. Although you don't have many lakes in Kansas, so
No
that makes
lakes
it
to
easier.
go to. Yeah, that's
It's
not a
it's
distraction
telling
for
you,
me.
when you live in Minnesota and it's summer and you're up to Detroit lakes, it's
Yeah.
pretty hard to focus. When half the state of North Dakota goes to, they say 10,000 lakes. I've been to at least 10 of them, and it is fun up there. So good time in lake season. Well, we're getting in the grilling season, lake season, everything else. Let's wrap it up, boys. Any final thoughts, questions coming in here? Oh, thank you, Jake. That's my friend Jake Stoner. That's he's just right down the farm. He's a cattle guy. Him, his brother, and his daddy. I'll show you who they are on X. Great cattle family, putting out some of the highest quality beef in the world. Thanks, Jake. Means a lot. Jake, young man, came down to the Board of Trade. Jake and his brother came down to the Board of Trade a few weeks before it closed, and then about a month later, I had this most beautiful handwritten letter from Jake and his brother saying, "Thank you for taking us to the floor before it closed." And I'll never forget that. It's still old fashioned, but I like it. Type of guy who'd come up and ask you if he can date your daughter, which for you two, well, it's going to be Connor. Connor's kids will be asking everyone out. Those twins are going to be trouble. I could tell you already. All right.
I do.
Questions, comments. We went through Starbucks. I think the economy's slowing a little bit. Stock market's not that far from all-time highs. Some cracks. Friday, big risk day. I'm going to ask people to take risk off in any way you want to do that. That doesn't mean you need to do futures and options. Just a good old-fashioned cash sale works pretty well too. But we won't know the results till you end up with the bushels, and then you end up where the price is this fall. Who wants to close the show, guys? I'll hit the button to end it. But Brady, Connor, last thoughts.
Yeah,
Close it.
go ahead. Well, remember USDA report out Friday. We'll be talking about that. We'll see everyone tomorrow. Give us a call. Send us an email if you got a question or if you disagree with us. Right, we love to hear
That'd be
the
great.
contrarian approach. I love the disagreement. Right, marketing's not a one road, so we'd love to do that. So give us a call 855-737-FARM. Send us an email info@atipromedia.com, and we will see everyone tomorrow.
See you guys. Great job.
Thanks for joining us. We're here every day, 9 a.m. Central. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.